Good morning, everybody. I hope all is well. I started a short web series. I just wanted to document my experiences in this past year. I'll try to go as quickly as possible and be as laconic as possible, but there's really a lot to talk about, and I usually don't share too much of my personal life, but I think this is going to be a helpful guide for other people who have had similar problems or going through similar problems. And I just think it's a fascinating story, not in a good way, but yeah, so for the past decade I've struggled with a drinking problem. Quitting wasn't very hard. I've written extensively about my experiences last year, about how it took one episode of one pancreatic episode in which I thought I would surely die for me to stop immediately. So I wouldn't call it an addiction. It was more so something that I did unyieldingly because I hadn't faced any consequences physiologically, and I never figured I would because I had always read about happening to people at a more advanced stage in life, like in their 50s and 60s. So I was always thinking to myself, I'm young, I can, if I want to do it, I can do it. I'm having fun, it's great. I feel such a sense of empowerment doing it. I'm free from all the pressures of the world. I can just do what I want. Nobody's trying to manipulate me or tell me to do this and tell me to do that. I'm living in my own reality. That's really a lot of what was going through my mind for the past decade. So I was just off living my own world, and eventually I became so far removed from reality that it took that pancreatic episode for me to be brought back down to earth and realize how mortal I really am and how finite life is. So, September 24th, 2020, as you know, that's the date that episode happened. I've been going to hospitals, doing follow-ups with doctors, seeing specialists ever since. My last hospital visit, I checked myself in 2 months ago to Hackensack Meridian. I'd been struggling. I've been losing a lot of blood through my stools and everything for the past year. So I would get discharged from hospitals and I'd come back with really anemic symptoms. So the latest visit was last November, 2 months ago, and it was great. I stayed for almost a week. I have these pictures here. My specialist, he did a colonoscopy and he performed an endoscopy on me, and I don't remember anything from those two because once that anesthetic hits you, it's just lights out. Yeah, really sublime feeling when that anesthetic hits you. Yeah, but they're cool pictures to look at. Very interesting reads. I went to see my specialist today, actually. Well, yesterday, since it's early in the morning. He wrote me some new scripts, so got these here. I have to get these filled out. Interventional radioloscopy for therapeutic paracentesis of cirrhosis. I used to not know what that meant, but I'm going to need that. My belly's really distended, and that's probably one of the bigger difficulties of dealing with liver cirrhosis and alcoholic hepatitis, is that you get a buildup of bilirubin and fluids in your stomach, and you occasionally have to get them drained. And fortunately, I'm not in the business of getting a girlfriend at the moment or finding a nice girl. I have a lot of other things on my plate. I've been mostly reading, writing in my free time. It's been pretty peaceful. I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah, so that surgery has to be done at a hospital. I'll have to get that filled Then I have my steroid here that I take twice a day. It's a very powerful medication. I have to get that. He lowered the dosage on that. And his handwriting is pretty difficult to read. It's worse than mine was in first grade, so I'm not sure what that last script says, but they'll figure it out when I go to get it filled. Yeah, so really, this whole experience, going through this, having the failing liver and needing a transplant, it's really opened my eyes up. It made me more appreciative of my life. I realized that I used to think a long time ago that I was invincible and I could live for as long as I wanted to, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, I realized how fragile life really is, how ephemeral it is, and I just want to send a message to everyone out there just to enjoy every day of your life. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. I'm very optimistic that I will. I've never doubted myself, and I know that once I get this transplant, I'm going to take the utmost care of my body. That's probably the hardest part of dealing with all these liver complications, is that I have to maintain a low sodium diet. So a lot of the foods I used to like to eat that I love, certain meats, beef jerky, even just going to like Taco Bell and getting a chicken quesadilla, like, I have to be very wary of that, and I have to be cautious about what I put in my body. I have to really make sure that I'm following the nutritional guidelines set forth for me, and I have to be on top of my medications, of course, but other than that, it's not too difficult to deal with. They say the hardest thing is dealing with like weaning yourself out off the alcohol, because a lot of people have like an addictive inclination toward it, but I just needed that wake-up call, and I never want to touch it again. I'm back to my old self, and it feels great, and I wish I had never touched alcohol in my life, but you can't rewrite the past, so I'm just staying positive, living in the future from now on, and that's really it for now. I have a ton to say, but I might have spoken too much.